And hello, everyone. It's Thursday, December 15th. Welcome to the Thursday webinar where we talk about robot trading, strangely enough, as it says right here on my slide. We're going to talk about an interesting psychological topic, and that's winning today. I wrote a blog post on it yesterday, and I tried as hard as I could to give you every single possible problem with winning. And you would be amazed, having been in athletics for 22 years, you'd be amazed at how many kids, star kids, athletic kids, bright kids, how afraid they are of winning. It's amazing. If you think it's silly to talk about winning, I'm telling you with my own eyeballs, these poor kids are scared of winning. And once they change that around, it's amazing what people can do. And I think that applies to us too. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to check Paul. Oh, looking good. All right, Paul, thank you. I'm going to minimize that. I'll come back in a second, and let's talk about this topic for a second. I've told my students for years, and I will give a little bit of background, and we'll talk about exactly what I mean. I've told my students for a long time, and I didn't make it up. I didn't create it, but I've told them your body creates what your mind can picture. What does that mean? It means if you can see it in your head, your body will very clearly make that happen. For example, you take a beginner or even someone who's played for quite some time. If you take a beginner and show them what their tennis strokes would look like. Again, this is tennis instruction. I did that for a little bit of my life. But if you could show them what their strokes were, exactly, you take it back here. Your feet look like this. Your shoulders do this. Your follow through looks like this. If you can do that, it is amazing what happens as a result of that. So when I would teach a lesson, if it's the first time on court with me, a lot of my time would be spent walking across the net and coming over to your side of the net and showing you exactly your grip feels like this. The grip pressure feels like this. Probably other pros would mock me. Hopefully secretly, they didn't do it to my face. Probably behind my back. But maybe not. Maybe I worked with a good staff. But anyway, most of my time was spent on the wrong side of the court. A pro is supposed to be feeding balls and yelling out instructions that don't matter. But instead, I would walk to the other side of the net and break it down, especially early. I wanted them to see and feel exactly what the stroke felt like. And we do it for everything. Volleys, slice, topspin, serve overhead, whatever it takes. And like I said, once they knew finish here, start here, they could do it. If you just screamed from across the net, follow through over your shoulder, well, what does that mean? And like, you don't get any improvement. Right? I've seen just by taking it step by step, by trying as hard as I can to get them to picture what it is I'm talking about, I've seen quote unquote unathletic kids with ugly, clunky, no talent strokes. And don't get me started on talent. Oh my goodness, I'll get angry. But I've seen unathletic kids with ugly strokes. All of a sudden now they're pretty. Oh, I've had kids come to me and they couldn't make any progress. Ranking was low, didn't have a ranking, whatever. Months or whatever, years later, people, oh, I just love how they play. Their strokes are so pretty. Like, are you kidding me? Their strokes were pretty. They worked on it, for crying out loud. Everybody thinks that beauty comes easy, and guess what? It doesn't. You can teach beautiful, but I digress. For those students in the athletic arena, for them, it all started with being able to picture what really good looks like. If I could make everyone look like Federer, I would. All right. Of course, everyone's not going to, but if everyone can be beautiful, guess what? You're going to be good at sports if you're beautiful. And I don't mean by your face or your makeup or your outfit. I mean by your athletic expressions. Okay? You with me? The same thing goes for trading. If I can picture or help you picture what winning is, winning will manifest itself. What do I mean? Well, for example, I got an email last week from a member who will remain nameless, but he or she knows exactly who I'm talking about and may or may not be with us today. I got an email last week from a member who is in the middle of a big winning streak on the Euro Aussie. And we've talked about the Euro Aussie many times. Look back at the recordings, look back at the blog posts if it's all new to you. He's in the middle of a big winning streak. And he or she, did I say he? Could be either. He or she was wondering, oh man, I've won a lot. When's the losing streak come? which is a perfectly normal thing to say. Watch this, watch this. I didn't give it away. I didn't give anything away. Watch this. Or she wasn't complaining, but he or she was just concerned. I think if I've got any detectives out there, I think they've figured something out. But he or she was concerned about it because when you go through a winning streak, what's the logical thing for us to think? You're going to lose. When in discretionary trader, if you win a bunch in a row, you start feeling freaky, right? I'm going to lose. But if you're trading a robot, I feel like it's even worse. The responses I get are even worse. Because it's robotic and because you're not doing it, it feels like the robot, yeah, I won these couple, but guess what? It's going to screw up. Robots don't work forever, right? If you can only picture a losing scenario, if your idea in your head is that robots are scary and they don't work, and even though I'm trying it out and I've become a member, I'm still nervous, which is totally understandable. This is not a criticism in any way, shape, or form. But if you can only picture the downside, robot loses, then you will seek out and expect losing. And what happens if you seek out and expect losing? When you go through a winning streak, you freak out, turn the robot off, lower the trade size, get involved manually, and like the robot gets up 1 pip on the next round, I'm taking it out. There are all sorts of things that you can do when you can only see losing. However, once I told him or her that the max winning streak on that particular robot was over 30 in a row. I think it's something like 33. The longest winning streak in the history of data on this particular robot was over 30 in a row. Well, he wasn't at 30. He was at like 12 or 10 or whatever it was. I don't remember. But once you know that 30, it might go to 30, I think that made it a lot easier for him or her. And he or she will have to answer that with his or her own mouth. But it definitely makes me feel easier watching it and counseling and giving my comments. When I look at a robot that has a max winning streak of 30, it's easy when we've won 10 in a row just to keep in. That is a very calming thing. So what is that process? Well, when you know what success looks like, it's easier to accept success. If I know what winning looks like 30 in a row, it's easy not to freak out at 10, right? I already know what winning looks like. I know what my stroke looks like. I can picture it. I know what a winning streak looks like and what it's capable of. I can see it. I can understand it. So then you leave the robots alone. Heck, maybe I'll get 25 in a row. Maybe I'll get 20 in a row. It's easy to stay in. Are you seeing? Are you connecting the dots? One more quick story. Sorry to talk about sports, but sports has been a monstrous part of my life since I was born. But if you like inspirational stories, I suggest going on Netflix and getting the 30 for 30. It's an ESPN documentary series. 30 for 30 is called, on Jim Valvano, North Carolina State. And I don't remember what it was called, actually. But anyway, Jim Valvano was a basketball coach, and North Carolina, they will freak out. It's North Carolina State. It's not North Carolina. They hate each other. North Carolina State's incredible national championship, and this was back in '82, and I remember it very well, even though I was a young boy. But the interesting thing, and I'll go through it quickly, but that this North Carolina State team found a way in their national championship run. There were several no chance predicaments in a row. There were several games. They went through a losing streak, so they had to win their conference tournament to get in. In their conference tournament was the number one team in the country and the best player maybe ever in college basketball history. So they had an insurmountable odds. They'd get in games and they'd be down a bunch of points with not much time left. They'd be down with the other team only had to do one simple shot or one simple free throw to close them out, and they wouldn't even make the tournament. And all of these things happened in a row. It's just an amazing story. From the championship, or their conference championship just to qualify, then their first round of the NCAA tournament, then their second round, and on and on and on. It was 7 or 8, I forget how many, impossible odds leading all the way up to maybe the best college basketball team of all time. They played in the final and were losing to them in the second half and came back again and then won it at the last second. Okay, it was just an amazing story. It's extremely well done. If you like a smile, feel-good story around the holidays, check it out, 30 for 30. But what's interesting is that the player said, you know what's interesting about that? is that they said that their coach, Valvano, would have them practice. At the end of every practice, they would get together and go through the ritual of cutting down the nets as if they'd won the championship. And they did it from the beginning of the season. They did it way before the tournament ever happened, months before. They do it every day. And when it came down to these impossible situations, they pulled through. Now, they won it against all odds, overcoming all these amazing obstacles. Was that a coincidence that they had pictured victory and then pulled out all these amazing things? I'll let you decide, okay? But I thought that was an interesting story, and I wanted to recommend that to you. Good for the whole family, okay? Now, how does that get to what we're talking about today? Well, what does success look like in trading? Let's see if I can make you understand. I like to talk about things that I've seen with my own eyes, okay? I don't like to quote things that somebody else has done. I like stuff that I know is true. And I know it's true if my own eyes and my own mouse clicks on it, okay? If I've seen the data and traded it live, whether that's demo or real account, but specifically real account, I need to see it with my own eyes to talk about it with you confidently, right? If I'm not sure of it, I just don't bring it up. So here are a few things about winning that I'm trying to give to you as examples so that maybe you can picture it in your own head. All right. We have talked about the dollar, yen, euro, Aussie, Hornet combination, right? Blog posts, webinars, etc. We've talked about it for a long time, okay? I think it was 2 days ago, this week anyway, one of my lifetime members emailed me and said that he or she had almost a 35% return for the past 3 months, okay? I don't know if that's them. My lifetime members email me with anything they want. I'll help as much or as little as I can, right? Some people don't need me at all. Some people email me a bit. Doesn't matter to me. All I care about is that you're comfortable and that you do well, okay? In fact, anyone can email me and I'll try to help, by the way, not just lifetime members. But anyway, he emailed me and said he had almost a 35% return. I don't know if that's live money, fake money. I don't know, but I think it's fantastic. I love getting good news. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. That's pretty freaking good winning, right? I mean, that's an amazing thing, right? So we're going to take a look at that. We're also going to take a look at the trend following robots. I mentioned that, I think it was last week's webinar, the webinar before, how crazy the trend following robots have been doing because, oh, guess what? There's been a trend. And you know I've got a course coming out on 100% style robots. So how is that done? So I want to give you a quick spreadsheet example of 3 winning scenarios, okay? Okay, here first, we're talking about the Euro, Aussie, dollar, yen combination. And remember, my member emailed me, said about 35% in 3 months. Well, I just went and did the data. This is TradeStation data, which is remarkably similar to my real life MT4 data, but this is hypothetical. We always talk about hypothetical unless I say this is my real account. I don't know why I would say it that way, but who knows, I might. But here's the data, all right? So he has an actual number. This is hypothetical. His is actual. Mine is hypothetical. Well, let's take a look at the past 3 months, and I don't think he was trading the full 3 months, but let's take a look. Okay. Here are the past 3 months if you combine those 2 robots. And remember, the Euro-Aussie robot has gone through quite a winning streak, as you can see here, and it was still doing well even into December. Dollar yen had a bad month and then came back strong and then really hasn't traded that much lately. And this is the one I trade too, by the way. All right. So if you add up these 3 months, that's about $4,700, okay? Now, I don't know what size he's trading, but I have talked about in my many examples that when you take 10K to $1 million, for example, you have to accept a large amount of drawdown. That large amount of drawdown is not for everyone. In fact, it may not be for anyone. It's just an example, again, to get you to picture something, how to turn a small account to a big account, what winning looks like. So if you are willing to accept a potential 50% drawdown, and that's a lot, okay, but bear with me, okay, that would mean that when I track these two robots together, the worst losing month is $3,400. Yikes, right? That's a big losing month, but guess what? If you ratchet up the leverage, you're going to get that, okay? And then I track the maximum drawdown. That was the month end drawdown number. The actual day-to-day, hour-to-hour drawdown number is right around $6,000, okay, ish, between 5 and 6 grand. Okay, I'm trying to go slow. Worst losing month, max drawdown is about 5 to 6. So I just used an account size for a 50% drawdown of 12, right? Worst losing month is this. Max drawdown is about 6. 6 is half of 12. You with me? So if I had decided to go for it, to ratchet up those trades to a 50% potential drawdown, then that would mean that this number divided by this number is 39.2%. If he didn't trade quite all of October or get quite all of that winning streak, he said about 35. The numbers say it's about 39. So are his numbers made up? Well, I'm here to say probably not, right? They seem to be well in line with the hypothetical TradeStation data, right? So regardless, either way you look at it, whether it's real life testimonial, if you will, or the data, this is what it's a robot like this, is capable of. 30 to 35%-ish in 3 months. That is a monstrous number. And if you extrapolate, you can see that 2016 for this particular style has been very good. But look, it loses too, right? We're not saying everything wins, but if you're ever going to go through a winning streak and accept the goodness into your trading account, you have to know what it's capable of. And it's capable of numbers like that, right? It's capable. Now, that's not all, though. That's not all. I am falling madly in love with these daily trend following robots. I'm just falling in love with them. I've said it before. I love watching them every day. They barely trade. People have asked for these robots. I talked about them at Rob Booker's conference way back earlier in the year. People have asked for these robots. I ran a special at that particular seminar, and they ran it, and it wouldn't trade. It went 6 weeks without trading. They're like, why isn't it trading, right? So I'm telling you, that's what's funny about this. They don't trade very much, and they stop out quite a bit. But when they go like crazy. And I'm telling you, I've gotten emails. There are people that are trading this, and I've gotten emails on this saying, I need to get out, or should I get out, or how does it get out? They are freaking out because it's so good, right? It's a good freak out. It's excellent freak out. But look what's happened again in the last 3 months. Well, nothing happened from July or from August, September, and October. Hardly anything happened, right? Could you sit on your hands for 3 months? I just think that's funny. And then the election happened and things took off, and look at this, right? 3 months, added up. Here's the worst losing period. That's a for using the trade size. And again, this trade size is jacked way up, right? The max drawdown for these two robots working together over the past 13 years is about $5,000. So I use a $10,000 account, right? So these are on a hypothetical $10,000 account. It made that for the past 3 months is 49.2%. That's what winning looks like. Of course, it doesn't do it all the time. Look at the red. There are red numbers there. But if you are not prepared, if you can't see this happening, you'll never get to that point. You'll close these trades out. You'll turn the robots off when it's not trading. You have to be able to see what winning looks like. One more example. The course is coming out. We've been talking about 100% robots. Totally different type of trading. Totally different. It's for a totally different type of person. It's for the trader who doesn't want to stop out, who couldn't survive a $3,000 losing month on a $12,000 account. Gee, Merry Christmas, that's a lot. This is a person that loves to just methodically see the money come in. Boom, 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 right? Never take a loss, or only take a loss in extremely rare conditions. Just keep winning, keep winning, keep winning, keep winning, all right? What has this portfolio done? Well, this type of portfolio, every month is kind of the same, right? Yes, it doesn't trade some months, but this portfolio is designed not to have feast and famine, but just to keep cranking out. You get in a trade, you get out of trouble, you get out of trouble to profit. Boom, boom, boom. Constant machine, more consistent, less losing, right? You get what I'm talking about? The worst losing month of the past over a decade is that, all right, and I'm giving, by the way, you know this by now, on the fair value portfolio, I'm giving two versions of that. So this is one of those two versions. Worst losing month is this. The worst losing period was this, and that's drawdown, right? Seeing your account drawdown, and then maybe taking it out at an emergency stop, which hardly ever gets activated. So that's what we're talking about, either seeing drawdown in your account or actually stopping out when things have gone really, really bad. But the worst losing period is here. Again, keeping our 50% drawdown. So this would be on a $2,400 account. Obviously, you could multiply by 10 if you wanted a bigger account, or 100 or a million, whatever you wanted. But it made that. That's the account size, and that's the return. Again, this is not feast and famine, but this is what it would have cranked out in a very methodical fashion, 20.9% for 2016. Now, that's not 49% whatever in 3 months, but it also doesn't take the big losing months, right? You see what I'm saying? Yes, it doesn't crank out like the Hornet, but the Hornet loses way more than this, right? This is programmed to not lose. So it doesn't matter how well something like the Hornet can do if you turn it off at your first losing month. This is something totally different. Or, sneaky, you could trade this in conjunction with something else and get those nice consistent profits, but that's another topic, right? Just out of curiosity, though, for today, I wanted to see what this type of winning would look like. Again, we're picturing winning all day today, right? So let's go to my favorite place to go in the whole world. That's not it. That's how I log in. That's it. Don't make fun of my tabs. All of them, I know exactly where all of them are, right? Here is managefutures.com. This lists, it's very cool place to go. This lists all the top fund managers in the world and ranks them for you, right? It's my top 40. It's my top 40 trackable people. I'm not talking about people in their basement that make 1,000,000% every day. I'm talking about people who trade millions and billions and do it in front of everybody's face, okay? If I made 20.9%, right? What was that number? Again, in this little, that's the amount of winning I did. If you compare that to the top fund managers in the world, in the country, in the world, you can see that these go back sometimes decades, right? Look at Hawksbill Capital Management goes back to 1988. They've been tracked since 1988. But if you looked at 20.4 and you looked at year to date and you went through these top 40, show me or tell me what beats 20.9%. Blue Diamond did year to date, right? Blue Diamond Asset Management. They've been tracked since 2011, okay? Year to date, they beat 20.9. How many more can you find? All right, look at EMC down for the year. Wow, look at these funds. But look at that. Look what they're trading. 61 million, 1.3 billion, 382 million, right? These aren't small fries, right? Check this out. Oh, look, Dunn Capital Management down 7.4%. I made a case that Dunn Capital Management is the greatest fund in the history of the world. Down 7.4, right? They trade 546 million. All right, let's beat 20.9. You see it? Loser, loser, loser. These are all year to date. There's 12, right? Who beats 20.9? No. Oh, there's one. Oh, number 39. I was wrong. 2 people beat me. I didn't see 39 in my quick scroll. So this little simple portfolio that I'm going to talk about on my course would be number 3 in the top 40 managers in the country / world / universe, whatever, right? That's what winning looks like, and that is a very simple thing. So either you can have winning if you're the type of person that likes to go for, in a small account maybe, go for big trade size and try to make profits, it can do that. That's what it looks like. If you love to trend follow, even if it doesn't trade that much, that's what winning looks like, and it's big. If you like neither of those and just like more consistent, crank it out, that's what winning looks like. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing? I'm trying to show you that it's okay to win, and this is what it looks like, okay? Now, all that being said, and I'm trying to throw a bunch of facts at you to brainwash you into being successful in your accounts, of course there's going to be losing times. You saw that, right? The Hornet has losing months, sometimes several losing months, sometimes back-to-back. The trend following won't trade for months and then lose the other months, right? Of course. And there are drawdowns. If you trade without stops or trade with emergency stops, there's going to be drawdown periods where you're going to walk in and see some drawdown or even take a big loss in a rare occasion. Of course it's going to be doing that, right? But that can't be the only thing you see. That can't be the only thing that you expect. Oh, I'm going to lose again. I can't have you thinking that. I wanted to take one day and show you what winning looks like so that, yes, you're going to lose, but you need to be super prepared for winning so that you allow it to filter into your trading account. Because I want your trading account to create what your mind can picture. Okay? Before I get to the updates, see if we have any questions, and then I'll move along with a few updates. Oh no. Oh no. There's going to be some funny comments. I was just scrolling back. All right, Paul says, all looking good with the visuals. Thanks, Paul. What a loser member, Douglas. Don't be so hard on that member. That member means well, Douglas. How dare you criticize he or she? Anyway, no, I'm not saying it was you, Douglas. I won't say that. You can't make me. Doug says, your mean words can't hurt me. I'm not saying it was Doug, though. My condescension cannot break his spirit. I'll break your spirit. If you do that OHIO stuff, I'll break your spirit. It's in a live account. That 35%, I'm saying that the member that I talked about is here today, and I don't like to use names, but it's in a live account, by the way. So, you know, that was factual information. Fabi didn't say, darn it, I keep giving away people's names. I would crack under pressure. 3 months and a few weeks, says my member that probably doesn't mind me using his name. Let's see what else we got. So you can have our cake and eat it too, Mark. Well, some of the cake's going to taste bad because there is some losing. All right, that's all the comments. That was fun. All right, Fabian, got it. Anyway, that was our picture pages of the day. Let's get some updates and finish out. I have started the recording on the course. My goodness, all I've done is listen to myself talk in the past few days. I don't particularly like that. But anyway, I'm closer to a half done. It's going slower than I thought. It's been more work than I thought, but I had it all outlined. And then as I go through, I'm thinking, oh, I need to add this. I need to add this. I'm really excited about this course. It's going to be cheap. We'll talk about it one more time next month. You know, it will be there for you if you want it. I'm probably going to open up an account and trade it. That's like 99%. But anyway, it should be out. I'm traveling again. I'm going to go see one of my students at Harvard. He's in graduate school. He's extremely brilliant. So I like to hang around extremely brilliant people. So I'm visiting him in Harvard this weekend, nice and cold, but then I'll be back and probably finish this up next week. I'm ready to talk about a new robot once this course is done, so that's coming. And my YouTube, people are subscribing. That's great. We're over 500. We're climbing up there. So thank you, everyone. That's just a great way to keep in touch with everything that's going on. There's your contact information if you need me or if you're watching this on recording. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. The holidays do not come on Thursdays, so we should be fine all the way through January, February for our Thursday webinars. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Love doing it, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.